What's up, everybody? Welcome to the House of Mario, the award-winning Nintendo podcast, backed by 120 Power Star rating. And the doors to episode 117 are open. I'm your host, Drew Agnew, and joining me, as always, is my best buddy, the wonderful lad I call Bryce Delight. It's Bryce DeWitt.
Bryce Delight, skyrockets in flight.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Absolutely wonderful, Bryce.
It's gorgeous, mate.
So, Bryce, we're recording on a Monday night. You know, something we usually try to record on the weekend, so that gives me the privilege of asking you the question: how was your weekend? Was it a good weekend? Was it wonderful?
I suppose, yeah. I had a weekend off, so that was nice for once. I mean, considering that I'm pretty much working every day this week up until we leave for PAX now, I think I've got 2 days off between then.
Yeah.
And that's a maybe at this point. A very hard maybe. I might not get all those days off.
Well, you'll be able to put that money in the bank. You'll be able to pay your bills. You'll be able to buy the beers. You'll be able to...
Fat chance. You know it's going to be going to PAX and I'll have all this money. I'll just be like, whoops, I tripped and I spent $900.
I saw the most cringy thing. There was a Facebook thread just basically what kids do, what's annoying or silly or funny or whatever. And there was pictures of kids using crayons on walls and just the typical stuff. Mm-hmm. But I saw one where a little kid must have found a wad of $100 bills, and what she was doing is she cut all the people out of the bills.
Oh,
just cutting up these $100 notes.
Oh no.
Yeah. Anyway, so today on the show we're going to be talking about Mario Kart Tour, our impressions of the game, and some Pokemon live streaming stuff, and a fair bit of Pokemon stuff, and some other little topics in between. But first of all, Bryce, got some housekeeping to do. So Nintendo Australia has announced the titles that they will be bringing to PAX Australia, and no surprise, it's Luigi's Mansion, it's Pokemon Sword and Shield. They've got other games there yet to be announced. And they've also got Link's Awakening there, which will, if people who haven't played it, they'll get to
have a bit of a romp with it anyway. Yeah.
Have a bit of a romp with it. Yeah, hopefully they have some Switch lights there. I'm sure they will. We'll get to have a bit of a play. Yeah. So are you looking forward to getting your hands on any of these games, really? Or? I
mean, I think Pokemon's a given, considering everything we've talked about Pokemon over this entire course of the year. Mm-hmm. And then Luigi's Mansion. I'm probably a little more excited for Luigi's Mansion in a sense that if I'm playing a Pokemon game, I like to sit down and play a Pokemon game. Obviously, you can't do that on a PAX show floor. Doesn't work that way. With the Switch lights, I'm curious to see how they feel, I guess. But as we've now found out, there's actually very little differences in the Switch lights controls to the original Joy-Cons, and they're having drifting problems already, which is depressing.
Be interesting to see how many cases there are, though.
Well, I know that there's a few recorded ones on YouTube and all that, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Well,
hopefully it's not too big a problem, because obviously with the Joy-Cons you can take them off, you can crush them, you can put them in the bin and buy another pair. With the Switch Lite, you can't just hack off the side. You got to send your whole system away, and a lot of the times when you send your system away for repairs, you get all your saves and that gone, which isn't such a big deal now with cloud saves, but with titles like Pokemon and Animal Crossing, that would be a bit unfortunate.
Without a doubt.
So at PAX, we're going to be covering these games. We're going to go in and play them on the Friday, and we'll have an episode up that day sometime, just talking about our impressions and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, we get our we have an hour in the morning where we sort of get to go in and have our own little romp before the public's let in, and it all sort of goes to chaos. So I think it's probably the biggest titles this year I'm interested in playing. So it's not too big of a deal. I'll sort of go in there, do them first, and I want to go claim my shirt for Final Fantasy as soon as the public comes in. So that'll be great.
Oh yeah. So what's the go with that?
Just
got to line up for it, or?
Yeah, I mean, if you're at PAX and you feel like earning yourself a free shirt, all you've got to do is do a boss fight on Final Fantasy 14.
I should go with you.
You should. Yeah. It's a free shirt, man.
Yeah.
It's a free shirt. It's not that bad.
I tried to get you a shirt a couple of years ago, and they said, nah, you got to do the boss fight or whatever. And it was like a huge line.
Yeah.
And even if I got in there, I wouldn't know how to beat the boss.
You could probably get carried through most of it anyway. A lot of the people that will go and get a shirt will be people who, already play the game. And once I get there, I'll do my stuff with Nintendo or whatever, and then I'll make sure I'm first in best dressed there to grab my shirt.
Best dressed, I like it.
Best dressed to get my shirt.
You will be once you got the shirt.
Well, yes, exactly. Because one, I want to get one in my size, and two, I want to avoid any lines possible. And when it comes to free gear for doing a very menial task that takes literally 5 minutes, I might as well just go do it.
The only problem is, Bryce, you've got a partner, you've got kids. Once you're wearing that Final Fantasy 14 shirts, women will not be able to keep their eyes off of you. You'll be out in the bars, you'll be out hanging with us out at PAX and whatever, but all these women will just be flocking to you, and you won't be able to...
He beat Eden Prime.
Oh, what?
Jesus.
What a mad lad. Epic wins.
Epic game. Epic gamer score.
Wow.
Yeah, beautiful. Anyway.
And were you saying anything else? Or?
Yeah, man. I was getting there.
No, that's all right.
And then I'll probably head over to some of the biggest stuff if I can. Because last year, I remember it just being absolute chaos, just trying to like sneak past like maybe Battlefield and all that. I'd like to sort of get in and see if I can get anywhere that I know is going to be packed by midday. So yeah,
I haven't really thought about any of the other games there yet either.
Well,
I'm sort of thinking about Nintendo for our coverage, but what other big game? Obviously Sony and Xbox and everyone else is there. What else? I actually can't think. I guess it'd be Death Stranding or something like that from Sony. And
well, I mean, for me at least, I know that I missed out on the beta for Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
So you ain't going to play that?
So I want to go give it a crack, yeah. I mean, it is literally my favourite COD game and one of my favourite shooters being rebooted. So I would really like to give it a crack and see how it is. I missed out on the beta, so that kind of sucks, but it's kind of interesting seeing what they're doing with the infrastructure there, because they're kind of going the route of like Overwatch almost, in that loot boxes are the primary source of monetization, but then it's also got cross-play and there's no season pass anymore. And I mean, I'm genuinely interested in that game just because it's a reboot, and I know that COD games over the last, half a decade haven't been great with their whole monetization schemes and stuff like that, but it's kind of just a game that I'd like to buy and play. For generalization purposes. I don't really want to spend any...
You'd like to buy and play. Remember the days when you could just buy and play a game?
I know. Now you got to play a game and spend more. And that happens with so many games. And I feel like this is probably going to be no different in some contexts, but I mean, if the season pass is not there and they're just giving out content for free and cross-play is a thing, it means that it won't die on the platforms. It'll just keep going as long as there are people playing. Yeah, it's the first time in COD history. So I'll see how it is, see how it plays, see if I want it. But
see if you want it. You want it.
Probably.
You want it.
Probably. I mean, it's Modern Warfare, man. I like Modern Warfare. It was good.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was thinking the other day, we were talking about it. Next week's gonna be the last podcast until PAX. I'm like, oh crap, it's that close, isn't it? It's like 10 days away. It's like, oh dear.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it though. Looking forward to meeting up with all our friends and all that stuff.
Yeah, and I mean that's the main draw of PAX. I think we've always made that pretty clear.
Yeah.
Seeing people catching up, doing our thing.
Doing our thing.
That's right.
Yeah. And the next bit of housekeeping is just some changes to our Patreon tiers. So we sort of moved things around. We started in July with Patreon and we sort of set it up, and I guess we're just changing a couple of things just from what we've learnt and some more value we want to put into or give to the people that are backing us. So basically the $1 tier is what has changed the most. So you still get Crack and Furfies every month unless it fucks up and
and we have the same problem we're having now, and that's trying to find time to record it.
Yeah. So basically in September we weren't able to get Crack and Furfies out. So what is it next? October we'll get 2 Crack and Furfies out.
Yeah.
To make up for it.
Yeah.
Because I feel really bad that
Oh, so do I.
Couldn't get it out.
Absolutely, yeah.
I know people would be understanding. Like, oh, that's fine, shit happens.
To put it in perspective, we recorded that episode before it stuffed up on us. We recorded that Cracking Furfies after work because it was the most optimal time we had. And it was like, 10 o'clock at night or something like that. It was the most optimal time we had. We knew we were going to be, within the proximity of each other and have the time to record it. So we did, and then it stuffed up. And we're like, oh, well, shit. And ever since then... it's been hard to find time.
It's a real shame too, because it's one of those episodes where we went, oh, that was a great episode, and I got, just press play again to see if it was alright. Was not alright. We're like, oh shit.
Yeah, got to do it all over again.
Yeah. So Cracking Furfies each month, and I've moved we'll go back. Cracking Furfies is our variety podcast where we talk about anything, just have fun.
Yep.
In case you don't know what Cracking Furfies is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because we like Furfy, the beer. And we've talked about it a lot on the House of Mario, so we made it into its own podcast. Yeah. Secret Recordings has moved from $5 to $1, so every month it's basically just me talking to the patrons, discussing what's happened in the month and behind the scenes pretty much, and yeah, just like, I don't know, it's one of the shows where I've got no expectations for it. It's just like it's going to grow with how I want it to.
Yeah,
and with Patreon it sort of works well as like a secluded private area where I can be real open and honest to the people that want to hear it.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And also you can get a coupon for the TeePublic store, and we've changed that so whatever tier you support us at is 30% off the TeePublic store.
Yep.
Which should be good, obviously. We can save some money if you do decide to support us by buying House of Mario merch or
Let's put
t-shirts.
It this way. You can invest $1 in Patreon. If you feel like buying merch, you can invest $1 in Patreon, and the coupon that you get will more than likely save you more than that $1 anyway. So, yeah.
Yeah, should
cool
be
stuff,
good.
Right?
And this is the major one we're adding, so this is very relevant to anyone who enjoys this podcast, The House of Mario. We're introducing sort of a supplementary podcast to The House of Mario called The House of Mario Encore. So that's going to go up twice a month, and it's going to be basically, one's going to be a solo podcast with myself discussing any topic I decide I'd like to talk about, and the other one's going to be with Bryce discussing anything Bryce wants to talk about. Yeah. And I got the idea for this back when the Switch Lite was announced and Bryce was busy. I'm like, all right, I don't have any time to organise anyone, and I just want to talk about the Switch Lite. And that went up. And I'm like, I quite enjoy solo podcasting.
Yeah.
Like, it's very different to, bouncing off one another.
In other words, ladies and gentlemen, when we hit episode 150, I'm fired.
You're fired.
And it's gonna be a turn for the podcast. So it's gonna go back to solo podcasting.
No, I wouldn't do that. No. But I guess, like, what Patreon is to me is just basically a feed we can be creative with. It's a free feed. We don't have to pay the subscription every month like you do on SoundCloud or Podbean or whatever it is. And we can, put stuff up there. Like with the House of Mario, we can talk about Nintendo stuff. We can talk about random stuff on Cracking Furfies, and yeah. So basically trying to give the most value for people that want more podcasts from us. Yeah. So if you support us at $5, you can get it a week early. $1, you get it a week later, but you still get them both each month.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm not going to go on two more. You can go to patreon.com/iDruby, check it all out in detail. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to doing the House of Mario Encore. I reckon it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, me too. I've got some stuff lined up I'd like to talk about.
Yeah.
Very keen.
Very keen indeed.
Very keen.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So Bryce, Mario Kart Tour.
Oh boy.
So I'm just going to open it up. It's been downloaded over 20 million times.
Of course.
Which is a lot.
That's almost beating Fire Emblem.
Not quite, but yeah,
almost.
It's
Very
so
close.
We'll go into our sort of impressions of the game. I saw you've been very vocal about the microtransactions and everything on Twitter. So I'll chuck it over to you, Bryce. What's it all about? Is it good? Should you spend $100 on it to get your random drops? Fire away, my friend.
Okay, so residential gacha game player here that plays as many as I can.
Is that French for fucking sucker?
Well, yeah. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, The thing is like, if I pick up a gacha game, it's generally because I'm intrigued and I'll play it, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I'll stick with it, or nah, it's going in the trash. Because the thing is
in the trash.
In the trash, because it's one of those things where you could see yourself playing the game just for the sake of the game, but at the same time, like, getting that need for, like, I want to roll, like, cute JPEGs of characters, or, you know, I want this particular thing that I want to grind for, so you work on that, and you, like, push forward and stuff like that. The thing I was really vocal about, I suppose, this week on Twitter was that it's very contrasting how Nintendo's mobile market is, I guess. It's probably the best word for it is market now, because they do have one.
There's a fair few games there now.
Yeah. Like, when you think of Nintendo Mobile, you just think, Super Mario Run game? Yeah. But no, it's like a full-fledged thing now.
At this point, that was 3 years ago, Mario Run.
Yeah.
Which doesn't seem that old.
No.
Yeah.
It doesn't. But, like, it's sort of blown up now, and there's Nintendo IPs all over the place on mobile, including one completely exclusive to it being Dragalia Lost. But it's been a very contrasting experience with the last two. I know that Masters was not made by any collaboration with Nintendo whatsoever, and it was the Pokemon Company.
It was DNA though, wasn't it? So same guys behind Mario Kart Tour.
There you go.
Yeah.
So,
which makes sense when you look at how it's run.
Yeah. Understandably, in the fact that you know, they're very similar. Like, when it comes to DNA, you know, you're right. Yes, how they're run, it's pretty similar. Like, without any question of a doubt. It's been a super contrasting week for Nintendo's mobile market, because Dragalia Lost, which I think has, like, what was it, 3 million downloads or something like at this point, I think Dragalia Lost has.
Is that all?
Yep.
All right.
But it is Nintendo's third highest.
Yeah.
Now that Mario Kart Tour's out, it was their second highest, which is really surprising. And this is where it comes in contrast, because what Mario Kart Tour has really come out to an absolutely appalling sort of money grabbing thing, at least from the perspective of somebody that plays gacha games. I know that a lot of people picked up Mario Kart Tour and they were like, well, you know, it's Mario Kart on my phone. What could go wrong, right? And then
what could go wrong?
What could go wrong? Everything could go fucking wrong.
Next minute, your daughter's been kidnapped. Oh God, your house is burned down. You don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Well, you might as well be. You
might as well
start selling that second kidney, people, if you want to, you know, sort of get your way in Mario Kart Tour. But it's contrasting because the day after Mario Kart Tour came out, Dragalia's Lost first anniversary was on. So at the same time in Nintendo's mobile market, you had a game that was gouging you and a game that was just chucking shit at you.
Yeah.
So with a little bit of history, when Side Games put out Dragalia Lost, they were like, you know, we can monetize the fuck out of this. Like, people really fall for the sort of like anime style gacha games on the market, and they've learnt that plenty through their biggest hits like Grand Blue Fantasy, which was like a huge deal in Japan in terms of probably not technicality or anything like that. It's a very, very old game at this point, but it really captured the mobile market in Japan. But Nintendo said, no, this is a new IP. This is our IP. We're establishing this. We don't want you to make it a cash cow because we want it to grow.
Yeah.
So they were like, don't be greedy dickheads. And they haven't been ever since. For the entire year, there's only ever been there's been gradual changes based on feedback, and the game has become primarily a game and not money spender. A lot of people that are spending money on Dragalia Lost are spending it to support the developers, because obviously it's free and you can play the entire thing for free and not see any hindrance whatsoever. There is apart from having a bit more units than everyone else, you're not really missing out on anything by not spending any money. which is awesome. And during this anniversary, for the last like couple of days at least, up to 10 days, there was like 100 free rolls. And the math I did on Twitter is it's about $400 worth of Mario Kart Tour rolls they've just given out for free in Dragalia Lost.
All right. How much in Dragalia Lost is it worth?
Roughly a little bit less, I think.
Okay, so like
a
little bit less, so like 300 or
depends on how you go about buying your shit, I think.
Yeah, still a lot of money in terms of that.
Well, gacha games they're expensive, but like that's the thing as well, is they don't really encourage buying to spend on rolls in Dragalia. So it's sort of like, we just chuck shit at you. You can earn your currency to do rolls. It's really good. Like in that sense, it's one of the best. But it's a really hard competition, I suppose, between Azure Lane and Dragalia in terms of like the best value gacha on the market. But then Mario Kart Tour come out, and Mario Kart Tour, I think, just absolutely demolished like a lot of people's expectations of what would be a Mario Kart game on mobile phone. And not in a good way either.
Yeah, well, we saw the writing on the wall months ago when the beta was out. We're like, yeah, nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah. It's, I think, at the moment, the current banner, as we call them, is Pauline, her car, and her glider. Each of them have a 1% rate of being pulled. I think 2 pulls is $10, which,
Jesus,
when you get to the end of the day, that's like, 50 odd bucks for 10 pulls. And the problem is, and I mentioned this too, a problem Dragalia had is they had 3 things in the gacha there. They had worm prints, they had dragons, and they had adventurers. By player feedback, they removed worm prints, and they're now just farmable in-game, which automatically sort of drops that dissatisfaction of getting something you're just like, ugh, that's not fun, right? No. In Mario Kart Tour, you've got drivers' carts and gliders, and gliders don't even get used on certain maps, like at all. So pulling one of the gliders, it's just like, oh, for fuck's sake, sort of thing.
Yeah, you do get like, it does affect your stats, but at the end of the day, it's not important like the character.
Well, people have already like proven it on Twitter, and like understandably, yes, it doesn't get you the most points if you play it this way, but you can literally win races by just letting it do its thing. You don't have to do anything. You can just let it crash into the sides of the wall and whatever. Somebody won as Toadette or something.
I never thought about that.
You literally don't have to do anything. Like, it auto uses items. It
auto adjusts. Auto uses items.
Yeah, it auto adjusts, like auto corrects you when you crash into a wall and like all this stuff. It's really whatever.
Yeah. I know it like automatically it does like the trick when you go off a ramp and stuff like that.
Yeah, that too.
Because I'm like turning and whatever, go over jump or like tap the screen. Then like once I've missed it or forgot or something, and it still did the trick, I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
So I'm doing nothing here.
You're doing literally nothing. Yeah. But then on top of that, it was sort of like, well, that's not satisfying in general. But then you've got that where you don't have to do anything to win a race. But I think the thing that's worst about the entire thing is that when it comes down to a point, you've got banner characters which are, again, common in gacha games, and at this moment it's Pauline. If you want to make the best out of your game with Mario Kart Tour, you have to use specific races, specific karts, specific gliders on certain courses, and by doing so, you get what is absolutely an unfair advantage. Whether it be like, if you have Pauline on this course, you get 3 items per item box.
Yeah, you go through one item box, three items. It's like, nice.
Yeah. Like, you can tell they're just like, spend your money, because if you don't, you're not going to get your best at all. It's not going to happen. Right? And that's really disheartening to see it happen with a Nintendo property. It's established as well, and I think that's something that sort of, it's like, well, Dragalia Lost is new, so they'll like make it sell by just giving people free shit. And then with Mario Kart Tour, it's like, we already know it'll be downloaded.
Oh, it will be, and it was,
and it was,
yeah.
and it just got absolutely slammed.
Well, Mario Kart is their biggest IP. It is their biggest game.
Yeah.
So they're going to look at this and they're not going to be worried about, people won't download it. They know people would download it, and they know a
people
lot of
will
people
spend
will
on
spend
it
money
too.
on it. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's kind of disappointing, I think.
Oh, it's very disappointing. Like looking at the last 2 mobile games from Nintendo, like I'm counting Masters as from Nintendo.
Yep.
So Pokemon Masters, it's literally like the Hall of Fame of trainers, and they're all in the one place. They're interacting with one another. That is like, as a Pokemon fan, that's awesome. But I still walked away from it because I'm like, I don't want to be a part of this. And Mario Kart, that's my other favorite Nintendo franchise, my most played Switch game, and the way they've set it up, I'm like no, and yeah, because there's I looked at it. I was thinking about this today. I'm like, what are the 2 things you love most in the world? Mario Kart and Pokemon. What's one of the things you hate most about gaming? It's crappy free-to-play mobile games where all it is give us your money and we're not going to give you value. We're not going to respect your time.
Yeah.
It's just rubbish. That's how I'd put it.
Oh,
yeah,
without a doubt. And it's depressing to see because Fire Emblem as well is almost sort of in that category, but you can just enjoy Fire Emblem as a game that's not competitive, because that game is very competitive in terms of PvP. So it's just sort of like, if you kind of just want a Fire Emblem story, you go right ahead, mate. You'll enjoy it, sort of thing. And they keep releasing chapters, and it keeps building on the story, and it's really nice and all that. And I mean, Masters is trying to do the same thing, but the problem with Masters is that its variety is meh.
Yeah.
I beat the whole lot of Masters all the way up until it literally stopped me in my tracks.
Do you know if that's out yet? Do you know if they've updated it for the rest of the story?
I don't think so. No.
That's weird. That's a real long gap between... Because they've lost you now. You would have kept on playing. Now they've lost you.
Yeah, I don't give a shit now.
That's really odd.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, it stops right in the middle of the league.
Yeah.
Right in the middle, just for absolutely no reason, just stops there. It says, this is all that's been done so far. You're like, great, I don't care anymore then. The result is going to be I win the league. I know that. What's the point?
Unless you're Ash. Are you playing as Ash?
No. I beat every single fight up until that point. Every single one with the same team, bar switching one character around. And that's it. And that's only because I'm like, this will synergize a little bit better, but my other 2 are staying. And it pretty much just remained that way the entire time. And Mario Kart Tour is sort of the opposite in some vein, to where you're like, well, if you want to make the best of Mario Kart Tour, you better spend your money so you can get those specific gliders, get those specific carts, whatever. In Fire Emblem, the biggest problem is if you want to be competitive, really competitive in Fire Emblem Heroes, you have to be like, well, I need to get duplicates of this character so I can fuse them together and make them plus 10. And then I need to have a team of that so I'm actually a threat in multiplayer. Sort of thing. And it's just like, well, okay. It's like, all right, I'll just play this game for the story. And it does fine, because it does throw freemium currency at you all the time to do roles and all that, until eventually, you're going to run out of that, because...
Yes. See, some of these games make buying $80 Call of Duty, even buying a few gun sites, look pretty easy compared to all this rubbish.
Yeah. And then, at the end of the day... In terms of all of Nintendo's mobile market, I think the best job that they've done with their titles that have some sort of rolling system in them is probably Animal Crossing, but it doesn't really feel like that game would be hindered by something like that. It's not like you're competing with anybody to be the best.
How Animal Crossing handles it is they have the fortune cookies, whereas a lot of the times, every 3 months or month or so, they do different themes, different exclusive items.
Yeah,
and you can go and buy the fortune cookies with your Leaf tickets to try and get the rolls, to get these items.
Yeah,
and to be honest, I'm like, they're pretty expensive for Leaf tickets, and I'll go through my Leaf tickets pretty fast. So I just completely ignore them.
Yeah,
I don't worry about it.
It's not a necessity.
No. I know back in 2017, or it might have been 18 on the lead up to Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu, but they had all Pokemon items.
Yeah.
And I could see in that event, I'd be like, all right, I'm going to put I'm going to put $60 into this game. I'm going to buy them all.
Yeah.
Because like having like a Pokemon Animal Crossing thing, that's enough for me to be like, I'll tell you what, it's fine, I'll do it.
Yeah.
But like the last few, they've been like, one's been like Hello Kitty, and they've had like different like franchises being incorporated there. I'm like, no, I don't need Hello Kitty stuff. I don't want that. Even if they gave it to me, I'm not going to put it in my house.
No. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So every day I basically turn that game on, and I've got enough leaf tickets to sort of speed up some processes of some things that don't have enough items or enough materials for.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just use it that way, and I've had enough. I've only put $13 into the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm quite happy to reward that game when
it treats me like a person, not a cash cow.
Yeah, because I'm going to keep spending more money and time on that game because it's fun and it respects me and my money.
Yeah.
But these other games don't. Sorry, I do want to bring this up though, because they've got like the subscription, the monthly subscription where you pay $8 a month and you get your gold pass. And with the gold pass, you basically get, you can like earn gold badges, but very exclusive to that. You can get, was it the 200cc?
200cc. Why do you lock a speed behind a monthly subscription that's more expensive than NSO?
I have heard that, but remember back in Mario Kart 8 on Wii U, 200cc was a part of the DLC, so it was locked behind the DLC on that as well.
Yeah, but it's a flat payment.
Yes, of course it is.
Yeah, it's a flat payment, not a subscription.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a subscription, especially in the same... Oh, it was almost the same week. Apple comes out. Apple Arcade, $8, access to 100+ fantastic created games on your mobile, some of which are like games that are on Switch or coming to Switch, which are valued at $30 plus. Like, you're getting excellent value if you like playing on your phone, Mac, iPad, whatever it is, and it's good value. But just me being like, all right, Mario Kart, I get 200cc, I can own gold badges, and I can get like, I guess, enhanced earning capacity as far as like coins and whatever it is. It's like, all right. So, but that doesn't sort of offset all this other crap as well. That's still there.
Yeah. It literally just makes it unfair to play. And I mean, I guess just ending off with the conversation, I guess, it is honestly awful, but when you've got something like Dragalia Lost that's also on your roster, that's when you're really sort of testing it. Because fair enough, for Animal Crossing, it's just like, this is mostly cosmetical, right? With Dragalia Lost, there's gameplay elements locked behind, obviously, rolling. But because they hand you free currency all the time, doesn't really make a difference. You'll be rolling anyway. You don't need to spend money on it, sort of whatever. And Dragalia Lost is one of their highest quality mobile games that are out there at the moment in terms of like soundtrack, boss designs and all that. Just character designs, lore, personality, everything about it is just it's absolutely brimming with life, because Cygames know how to make an amazing mobile game. That's why they're so popular in Japan. They're huge in Japan. So, with Dragalia Lost's anniversary, I've been smashing the shit out of it again, because I'm like, holy crap, this is like stuff. Yeah. This is the best time to play it. You know what I mean?
I wish I logged on to claim it.
Well, you can.
Oh, it's still going?
It's still going.
Just for people that are, I guess, curious, because they might listen to this a bit later.
Okay.
Do you know what time it goes till?
Okay, so I think we've had 4 days worth of free 100 rolls, which means there's 6 days left. So you can still claim 60 rolls.
To the end of the week when this podcast went up, pretty much.
Yes.
6 weeks, yeah.
But you also get...
Days,
yeah. But you also get... The thing is you also get anniversary login bonuses. The entire point of the anniversary so far has been about getting new players to a place where they can catch up. They're not hindered. So you are handed free shit all the time. You are given everything you need to sort of push up and get to a level where you can play with other people comfortably. You're given free currency for rolls as well. So not only on top of the 60 that you can still currently claim per day, you were given, I think, 5 free tenfolds, so 50 free rolls just by logging in on day one that you can use at any time. And then you've got a whole bunch of upgrade materials from like waters for your worm prints, or gold crystals for your adventurers, or dragon fruits for your dragons, sort of thing. And there's so much of it that even though I'm not a person that has to catch up per se, I've been able to use that to push myself up to a higher level, and now I can sort of compete in the hardest content of the game, which was great because they've come to a standpoint now where they're like, okay, we're done with this section of hard content, we're moving on to the next one. You've got 2 months to catch up. Here's all this free shit. Go ahead, just smash it. You'll get through it really quickly if you use this. And honestly, it's been amazing. The amount of people that I've said, hey, like, I've told my friends to, start it up, give it a go, give it a crack. And I've been telling those people to log back in because at the end of the day, I think I've claimed, since it started last week, I think I've claimed 160 roles, and that's not even like past the next 60 that I've got to go. There is so much opportunity to start Dragalia Lost now and start really well. It's absolutely insane when you compare something like that just wants you to play. It's their third highest grossing mobile game, and it's not even because people have to buy to progress. It's because people are willing to support them, because they're giving us a product that is in every way, shape, and form a game first, and a spending thing later.
Yeah, because that's one of the things where a game's built, being like, how can we make money from it before they think, what are the mechanics of what's going to make this game fun?
Well, like
just the wrong way to go about it.
Well, like I said, Side Games wanted to monetize the shit out of it, and Nintendo said no.
Yeah,
and look what's happened. It's become a very easy to approach game, and I mean, I can honestly say I've spent money on Dragalia Lost before, but I didn't do it begrudgingly. I'm like, I like this game, and it's just like, oh, hey, look, you get this bonus if you spend a bit of money, and at the end of the day, that bonus is like applicable to anyone without spending money anyway. But I'm like, I want to support these guys because they're not asking me for money all the time.
Not gouging you, yeah.
They're not gouging the shit out of me.
Yeah.
And this event is proof of it. So, I mean, if you've installed Dragalia Lost and you've played it a little bit and you haven't played in a while, now's the best time to log in, because you're going to get all this free shit, and it's really satisfying. And if you've never played before, it's the best time to start playing anyway, because they're going to give you a bunch of free shit.
Yeah. Just before we jump to, I guess, the more like the gameplay elements of the game, I just want to point out that in the first day of downloads, Mario Kart Tour was downloaded over 20 million times, and the second most downloaded on day one was Mario Run at 7 million. So this game has obviously people are a lot more excited about this game. There's changes between now and then that you could like pre-purchase apps. I know definitely on the Apple's App Store you can. I got an email saying it's out and automatically downloaded. I can't remember if it was like that back in 2016 with Mario Run, because I got my iPhone a bit later.
Yeah.
So I didn't do it, but yeah, it's absolutely huge, and the game's already made $1 million, which is second behind Fire Emblem, which has made $4,300,000. And the thing with Mario Tour as well is people that have signed up for the subscription service and are going to go through with it, they're not charged yet. So Nintendo hasn't gotten that money yet, which isn't counted in the 1 million sum. So unfortunately, it looks like Nintendo is going to be rewarded for their crappy practices with this game, which is sad, because I'm going to keep playing Animal Crossing. I'm going to give Dragalia Lost a go, but as far as stuff like the Fire Emblem, not so keen on. Mario Kart Tour, I might keep dabbling with it, but they're not getting my money. They can go away.
Poo-poo.
Yeah. So actually playing the game, Bryce, do you like it? Is it fun?
Look, my expectations for it were pretty low in general anyway, because it's not really a type of thing. It's a type of thing I expect to work with tilt controls, and I suppose you can turn them on. But
Does it have tilt controls?
if you enable them in the options.
Yeah, I just ignore them.
Yeah.
I just glaze over them, and I don't even notice it there. I'm not going to play with tilt controls.
It just absolutely, I guess it exceeded expectations, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's good either.
Mm.
Like, I'm sure people get their time and they're fun with it and all that stuff. And I had a good couple of races before I really just bit the bucket. I looked at the prices, and I looked at like what the mechanics were in terms of like what characters do, and I'm just like, yeah, okay, I'm done. But it's not a terrible version of Mario Kart if you want to play something that's like, oh hey, look, I'm waggling my cart around. But if you're the type of person that fucking hates seeing anything below gold, you're like,
yeah,
fuck off. Because at the end of the day, the person with more money is going to overtake you. As I mentioned before, there was a person on Twitter who literally filmed an entire race of him not doing a single fucking thing, and he still won. It was literally like the videos of Luigi doing nothing in Mario Party and winning.
Oh yeah.
Like those old videos where they'd just literally sit the controller down as Luigi and he'd fucking win every minigame. It was literally the same thing, but with Mario Kart Tour, and that's super depressing. And if that's what it's like with... I'm pretty sure it wasn't even like an optimized course for Toadette or the kart she was on. It was just a course.
Mm.
So it could have been like 1-star rating. He was getting one item box per thing, so it would have been no bonuses or anything like that. He still won.
Yeah.
He still won by letting the game just autopilot.
I might try that actually. That sounds productive.
So garbage.
Yeah. I don't mind the gameplay. I think it's fine. Like you got Mario Kart in your pocket all the time. Take it out. You have a race. Cool. I originally started off on the drift only control scheme because it said recommended. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, all right. But it's weird how you can't turn at all. And it's like fair. So you've got to like set it up so you're straight. But if you just need to turn a little bit or something, you just can't do it. I'm like, all right, this is rubbish. So I just went into the options, turned it so I could turn and just drift by holding my thumb to like the edge of the screen. You just drift that way. I don't think you get your second turbo boost compared to 2 turbo boosts or 2 levels of turbo boost.
Yeah.
With the other control scheme, but it just made no sense to me how you can't turn at all. Like you just like drift, then you got let go, and you go straight, and to sort of like weave your way through, you just got to try and drift.
Yeah.
And I haven't done any of this myself, but I see like Jamie Penning and a few people have added each other, and they're doing like the ranks, like racing each other and that. And that's one of the best things about sort of these competitive mobile games, just looking at the leaderboards, be like, all right, yeah, I can do better than that, and you jump straight into it, and that's what keeps you coming back. So I like that aspect of it. I think the racing itself is fine. It is weird how Nintendo tries to make you feel like you're racing other people when they're just CPUs.
Yeah.
And that's a trait in a lot of mobile games like this. I didn't know this, but I was listening to a few podcasts, and they said that PUBG Mobile, the first few matches, it just puts you against CPUs and makes it easy. So when you get your chicken dinner, it makes you feel good. Then when it makes you feel good, spend money, and when you actually get into the game, you're like getting your ass kicked. It's like, why's this happening? But since you got that one chicken dinner, you think you can do it again, and you keep going. It's just like really scientifically thought out of like why these things how they are, to inherently get you to spend more money and keep you in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when these games are set up for science over, this will be a fun game for you to play when you get home from work on the Tuesday night, because you work hard for your money. It's not it's not quite the
Good way to put it.
Yeah.
Wanted to say at the end of the day was like, to get the same amount of rolls in Dragalia in Mario Kart Tour as they're currently giving out for free for Dragalia, it was $400, and you could literally buy a Switch with Mario Kart, because usually the Switch comes bundled with something like that for the same price. And that's kind of depressing, because you are literally getting a much better value out of it.
It's good value.
By every sense of the word.
Anyway, Bryce, let's stop talking about this. Mario Kart Tour. Play it. Don't spend money on it.
Yeah, don't encourage it.
Unless you don't like your money. If you don't like your money, well,
please don't encourage it.
Spend your money on Mario Kart Tour and head over to patreon.com/iDribby, you know, if you hate your money.
If you hate exactly. If you hate your money, put it on the Patreon. Just don't support it simply for the fact that Nintendo have something better out there that is much more consumer friendly, and you should be supporting that instead of that.
It's called Mario Kart Super Circuit on Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, there you go.
Go and buy that.
Yeah.
It'd be like $40 at a second-hand shop somewhere. Yeah. So, Bryce, next up, this is a game we played at AvCon. And it was the only game at the Indie Games Showcase. We're like, oh, that game is running on Switch. So we went over there, had a play of it. And that game is called Wrestle Dunk Sports. And it's basically a compilation of these different multiplayer couch co-op games. You can sit down and play with one another. And we enjoyed it. We sat down and we said, oh, would you like to do an interview with us? And they said, oh, well, we actually haven't announced the game yet. And we're waiting to announce it close to PAX. And the game will be playable at PAX. I'm like, oh, all right, no worries.
Not surely enough.
Yeah, and now the game is announced, so let's talk about it.
Yeah.
So so you start off, Bryce.
Wrestle Dunk Sports is pretty much what it sounds like. Wrestle Dunk Sports.
Yes.
There's a couple of sports you can play.
Yeah, I've got them here, Bryce. So there's wrestling, fencing, volleyball, and smash ball.
Yep.
Which says here is a variation on the competitive Pong/Breakout. Each sport can have up to 8 players competitively, and even features online play with the devs boasting super high performance. So, you know, super high performance. It's higher than normal good performance. So I'm all about that. What was the sport we played? We played all of them, I think.
We played all of them.
Smash ball, was that the one where you let you jump on one another?
No, that was wrestling.
Wrestling, right? Yeah, because that was fun. So basically, you play as like little rectangles with faces.
French fries. Let's call them that.
Yeah, French fries, and it's really nicely animated. It's like real cartoony looking, and if you like Super Smash Bros. And party games in that vein, it suits that really well. And wrestling, it had basically you just move with the analog stick, and there's jump, and there's a button that makes you basically fall over and like fall onto your side, and the aim of the game was to sort of jump on one another and squash one another. And it sounds really basic, and I guess to an extent it is pretty basic, but it was just lots of fun.
Yeah, it is really fun. Yeah,
and it took a while for like me and you to sort of like figure out the kinks. There's like different ways you can sort of trick people into like moving underneath you and all that, and it was a lot of fun playing that. That was the first game we played. Then we played volleyball, which is just playing 2D volleyball, which was like more fun than it probably sounds.
Yeah,
playing 2D volleyball. Yeah.
The thing is like when you play Wrestle Dunk, as long as you're airborne, you can position your rectangle in just about any way that the mode determines you to. So, for example, when you're in wrestle mode, you can position yourself horizontally so you can slam on top of your opponent and stuff like that. And each mode has sort of their own little kink to move the French fry around and do different things. So, it was definitely something we spent a fair bit of time on at AvCon, surprisingly. I think
we played it for like at least half an hour or so.
At least.
Just playing through all the sports. And
and
fun. In the indie games room, it was like one of the most polished experiences.
Yeah.
And, that's mainly because, it's been announced and it's coming out, where a lot of the games are like, I've got free time and I'm making a game. I'm going to see what people think about it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what a lot of the games at AvCon were all about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to playing this game at PAX, and I don't think we have a release date yet. But it says, all they say is it's coming soon for Switch. Yeah. And it's also, it's got a little spot in our heart too, because it's by an Adelaide dev, Team Fractal Alligator, which were the guys that also created Hacknet on PC. If you guys are familiar with that game, that was a pretty big game on PC, and is not the scene I'm into, so I never played it.
Yeah,
but this one with little rectangle men where you squash each other is the market I'm in. Absolutely love my
French fries.
Yeah. So if you love like co-op multiplayer stuff to play on your Switch, similar to like Nidhogg, Smash Bros, etc., etc. This would be a good pickup, I think. So yeah, hopefully we'll get to talk to them at PAX.
Yeah,
have them on the podcast.
Yeah, it'd be good.
Yeah, if they say no this time, we will write a very angry letter.
It's all right.
That's right. Yeah, thanks, Bryce. Thanks for that little confirmation. I'm like, am I wrong here? Am I a bit out of touch? Should I not be writing this letter? But no, with that little confirmation there, I'm quite happy with my decision there. So next up, Bryce, Dead Cells sales on Switch are, quote, insane, and the total sales are 2.4 million, which I'm really happy to see. This was a fantastic game.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was a game that surprised me. Looking at it, I'm like, I love the pixel art style, and I actually reached out, got a review code on PC, and I loved it that much. I've got to get this on Switch because I want this with me.
All the time.
Played a heap on Switch, and a lot of people are like, this is really hard, and it was really hard. But I sort of viewed it more as a score attack game.
Yeah.
As far as I can. I'm not going to finish it. My God.
Yeah.
Probably not going to finish it, but absolutely loved it. And this news comes from Destructoid. So Destructoid managed to catch up with Steve Philby of Motion Twin at PAX West to chat about how Dead Cells was performing. Philby stated that the beloved indie title has now shifted an incredible 2.4 million copies, and the sales of the game are specifically on Switch are insane and completely ridiculous. Just ridiculous, he says. He says that the game really lends itself to the platform, which it does, which is why I bought it again.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
congratulations to Motion Twin and everybody there. I know at Motion Twin they've got a system set up so everyone who works there has equal shares in the company.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, hopefully they're all very rich from this game.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I downloaded the DLC because the DLC was free. Like, I was going through the eShop the other day because there's a huge sale going on at the moment. I don't know if you've had a look.
No, I haven't.
But I went on there. I noticed Bastion was $4.
Woo.
And yeah, so I'm like, there's like games for real cheap on there. So I bought a few. I ended up picking up Pang.
Oh. Did you?
Yeah. So no one seems to know what Pang is, but
really,
you remember playing Pang at primary school on the computer?
Yeah.
Yeah, because let's see if any Australians or anyone out there actually knows what we're on about. There was a website I used to play all the time at school. It was one that wasn't... Actually, this was before they blocked game websites. But it was a website called Alfie.com.
Yep.
And the mascot, I can't remember, was it like a cartoon chipmunk or a cartoon meerkat or something?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. And there was just heaps of like dumb flash games, and one of them was Pang. And Pang, you walk around the bottom and you shoot up
like a hook shot.
Yeah, like a hook shot, and you've got to like hit these bubbles and pop them to get smaller and smaller and smaller.
And if they hit you, you die.
Yeah, if they hit you, you die.
Yep.
And on the eShop, there was a $15 game called Pang, had 2-player, had a story mode, which I haven't played it yet, so I don't know what that's going to be all about. But it was on sale for $6, and I picked it up, and I'm looking forward to it. You can come up. We should do like a let's play or something playing Pang.
Oh yeah, Pang. Oh yeah,
Pang. It's going to take me back because I was thinking about this the other day. Like, Pokemon was like the first game officially got on my Game Boy, but I played like a lot of games before that just on PC.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of forgot how much I was playing on PC before I got into some of this other stuff. Yeah,
a ton.
Shout out to Mum's computer, Windows XP. Am I right?
Heck yeah.
Might have been 95 actually.
That's a cougar right there.
A cougar. Ooh.
Windows XP.
I don't like calling my mum's computer a cougar.
Why not?
I don't like my mum and a cougar in the same sentence. I'll be honest. I mean, you can have you can have your opinions, Bryce, but don't bring that up to me, mate.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. So, Bryce, let's shift the conversation over to Pokemon. So let's talk about the Pokemon anime that's been announced. There was a leak, basically that the next Pokemon anime is going to be set in all regions. Then piece of artwork got leaked with Ash in new clothing and a new
and a friend.
Yeah, and a new male protagonist, as well as like all of the different regions around them.
Yeah,
all the different places.
Yeah.
So, and that was officially announced today, I think it was.
Yep.
the Pokemon Japanese YouTube channel put out a trailer. Didn't understand any of it, but it basically just said, yes, this is a thing, as far as I know. So, I guess, what do you think about this?
Well, it kind of sort of just holds true to what the anime leaks were about a while ago. So, spoiler alert, next 5 seconds, go. Ash won a Pokemon League. Hooray.
No one knows that. Everyone who's like never heard about Pokemon's like, Ash won the Pokemon League. Except for us, actually. we didn't say anything about it.
Like, Ash won the Pokemon League.
Let's be honest. Like, we here at the House of Mario, we know Pokemon. The Alola League doesn't fucking count. Let's be honest.
Well, it counts for Ash Ketchum.
He beat his friends.
Yeah.
He beat his friends.
Yes,
in the first league year or whatever you call it that was set up. And from what I can tell, no one was in the audience, and he beat his friends. Doesn't count.
He won.
He beat Gladion. Congratulations. You know what I mean?
Yep, yeah. Exactly. Anyway, so now that he's finally won a league and he's finally the champion of something, he's going on a world tour.
Yeah,
he's a superstar now, so he's going to go around and do a world tour, and everybody's going to be like, "Hey, aren't you the Alolan League champion?" This is like, "Yes, I am."
Yes, I am.
I'm Ash. Anyway, and it's all going to be centric around the entire Pokemon world. What I'm guessing is that the Brock and Misty episodes were received very well, and they're just kind of like, hey, well, people really love those episodes. They got huge viewership. Let's move this, use this, and turn it into a whole anime season. So they're going all around the world, baby. Which is good for the Pokemon formula, because we've been going through the same shit year after year. Sun and Moon anime is actually the only piece of Pokemon media from that generation where I'm like, I actually kind of enjoy this, because it was just fun, campy.
See, yeah, I've actually started watching it.
Yeah.
The Sun and Moon season 2. And I'm sitting there basically in bed, and, you know, I take my words back. I enjoy it.
Yeah, it's just fun and campy.
Yeah, because the way it's different is, you know, in the original series, like, they're going from town to town, they're going on this big adventure, they're going from town to town. But in this one, it's like all the same people, and since Alola's a smaller region, they're basically always at the school, and they just go to place, and that's the day, and they go back to school. Then it's just like, I do enjoy it.
It's good. Yeah. It's just fun and campy. It's not like, oh, hey, look, there's all these towns you've never heard of in the games that are kind of just in the anime, and they have no cultural relevance to you whatsoever, and all that shit. That's why I like the Sun and Moon anime, and I guess if this sort of goes into like a similar perspective, I'll enjoy it as well, because to be completely honest with you, the hero's journey has really run its course for Pokemon anime. We see it every fucking time. With Sun and Moon, it was a big change. Obviously, some people liked it, some people didn't. I personally thought it was really good, because it finally moved away from the stupid same traditional bullshit we've been putting up with for the last...
I remember in Diamond and Pearl, I think that was the worst point for the anime, because every episode was meet a new person, Team Rocket tries to steal that Pokemon, they beat Team Rocket, they fly off, they resolve the issue, end of episode. Every single episode. It was such a waste of time watching it. But with Black and White, they made Team Rocket, like, they actually made him seem pretty bad. Like, they gave him like a black uniform and stuff, and I think the anime picked that from there. X and Y was really good, and now Sun and Moon was like obviously completely different, and Team Rocket's not in every episode, and when they are, it's very quick. Yeah, which is good.
And they get carried off with Buyer Beware.
Yeah, because I like those characters. I like Jesse James and Meowth, but I don't. There comes a point where it's like, oh look, wouldn't that Pokemon be good for the boss? Yeah. Let's try and get it. Oh no, we
failed. Yeah.
We're blasting off again. So alright, that's enough. How many episodes of the Pokemon anime? Over 1,000. Don't have to watch that every single time.
Yeah.
That doesn't have to happen.
No.
Absolutely. I just went to Cerebi and I got some more information from some translations, because I guess they have some tools that can translate from Japanese. Maybe. So, it showed off that a trailer featuring Ash and a new trainer called GUGO. So in Japanese, it's pronounced GOH GO. So GUGO.
Go.
Would you just say go? We'll say go. That sounds more normal. And they have a partner called Score Bunny. The first episode is to air on November 17th in Japan, and it will be a 1-hour special. More details are expected to be coming in the next week.
Right.
So yeah, cool.
Yeah, looks good.
I reckon I'll try and keep up with this one because
I reckon I will too, because I like I said, I've actually enjoyed the Sun and Moon anime.
Where do you keep up with Japanese Pokemon that's been aired? Because it's not on Crunchyroll or Anime Lab. So where would you find it?
Pirate.
Yeah. But yeah.
You just find it on the internet, my friend. There's somebody that uploads it.
Get in your ship, people. Go and pirate some anime.
Yeah.
Yarg. All right, see, I'm keen for that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a rumor going around that Diamond and Pearl remakes of Pokemon are coming next year, Bryce. And this is basically sparked from someone called Paul who runs a Pokemon website called PokeShopper. And they've discovered that there's a wealth of new Sinnoh merchandise coming that's going to be starting to be sold from December and onwards. And you can look at it one way being like, oh, it's the 13th anniversary or whatever of Diamond and Pearl in Japan, or that they're ramping up merchandise, marketing, etc., for Diamond and Pearl remakes. And it is about the time that Diamond and Pearl remakes would be coming. It would be like after a major release, so there's that stop gap there. I think Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire came 13 years afterwards, so it's about similar timing as well. So I think, to be honest, at this stage, just from previous releases and this, I'd be surprised if we got no Pokemon game next year or something else. To be honest, yeah. So I know you're not the biggest Diamond and Pearl fan, but would you be keen to play them again on Switch? Remastered and in the Sword and Shield engine and all of that?
We'll see how Sword and Shield pans out. I mean, the thing is with Diamond and Pearl, it's not like when I played it originally, I was like, "Oh, this game is shit." My opinion on it evolved over time, where I'm just like, God, I just remember all this betrudging shit. Maybe I'll get a fresh breath of life on it again, and I'll be like, all right, it was okay.
Well, hopefully some of those problems are fixed for you.
I hope so.
Yeah, it's like some of the biggest problems with Diamond and Pearl, that there were too many HMs.
Mount Coronet.
Yeah, Mount Coronet was fiddly to navigate. Surfing speed and just like general speed of the game in general was real slow in Diamond and Pearl. They fixed it somewhat in Platinum. They sped it up. There was a few like pacing issues in that game, but as a place, I really like the Sinnoh region. Really like all the characters and all of that. I think it had with Platinum, it had a great post game with the Battle Frontier and that. It wasn't as cool as Holland's Battle Frontier, just for the fact it was like one big circle instead of like, in Holland there was Smeagol's Cave we could go into, and there was like other stuff there to do. Yeah. Like just explore instead of just being the facility itself. Yeah. But still enjoyed it. Obviously that Battle Frontier also made it to Heart Gold Soul Silver, which made that game fucking awesome. And
the Safari was really good too.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. You can move it around. Yeah. Yeah, so, Diamond Pearl remakes, I'll be keen for them. Because it's getting to that stage now, like 13 years, I'm looking back at these games, being, fairly fond of the memories. I remember being really excited for the games. They released in Japan, and it still wasn't months until they came out in Australia. And it wasn't like now where the trailers wreck it for you. It was just the people wrecking it for you. Because all the Pokemon, everything, because the games are out. And I remember walking down the driveway of the farm, and I'd be like, putting together my team in my head. I'm like, I'm going to choose Turtwig, get a Torterra, I'm going to get a Drifblim, I reckon. I'm going to get a Floatzel. Like, I was putting like the Pokemon I'm going to catch and everything, and I was playing it out, and when I got it, and yeah, really, really, really excited. I've told the story before too, but going to buy my copy, one of the cool kids from school was there, so I'm like, oh crap, so I like hit it waited for him to leave and bought the game. And just like stuff like that.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
What it is to be young.
It was 2007. Yeah, still in primary school. Last year of primary school. For me. Yeah.
What it is to be 7.
I wasn't 7.
I mean,
2007.
year 7.
Yeah, year 7. I had my jumper with everyone's name on it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, Bryce. Last bit of Pokemon news and news in general for this episode. So, Pokemon Sword and Shield are hosting a 24-hour live stream on Friday, which will be... Let me look this up. What is Friday this week going to be? Oh, boy. It's going to be the 4th, Bryce. The 4th. That is the 4th day of October, in case you're working out your maths in your head there.
Holy shit.
Holy macaroni. So, Sonia needs your help, trainers. Next week, she'll be setting up a live camera and conducing. Why did that not come in my head? Some Pokemon observation research in Glimwood Tangle, a strange forest area in the Galar region. And, yeah, so we're going to get some more information. I dare say we're going to get some more Pokemon announcements.
Can you just imagine if, like, nobody turns up for the live stream? Like, nobody at all. They're just like, eh.
If anyone's out there who's actually deciding to actually, like, sit there for 24 hours, it's like, nah. I remember, like, recently Death Stranding, for one of their, I think it was the announcement trailer for, like, the release date. They had, like, a bunch of hands just, like, on the screen, and slowly they were lifting up until they're all gone and you could see the full trailer. It's going to be something. It's not going to be like, it's not going to be waiting for a trailer or something, but it's going to be basically this one shot of this animated forest, pretty much what we're going to be seeing on the announcement picture they've put on Twitter. It's going to be stuff moving. You're going to see, like, you know, a Mankey's going to run past. Oh, there's something. Oh, no, it's just a Mankey. It's all right. But there'll be something you don't know. Oh, what was that? And it's just like, it's just basically a part of their marketing to sort of get you more involved instead of like, we're dropping a trailer. Like, they're trying to, like, stir up talk about, oh, what's this going to be about? What's this?
Same thing as the glitched Surfetched on the Pokemon
Yeah,
page.
exactly. Like, there's
Similar marketing tactic.
different marketing tactics to get you talking about it. Because, yeah, like, oh, let's get the House of Mario talking about this. So that'll be a great boom for the game.
We need that popularity spot. Come on.
Yep, we need that 2 people listening to that podcast. Yeah, so
if you're into it, go for it.
Yeah.
If you're not, just wait for Cerebi to pump out the news. I'm sure it'll happen.
Well, yeah. Well, obviously, it's just going to be all dot points like the next day.
Yep.
But if I'm around, I'm going to have it up and just like have it on a second screen or something. Just why not? But I guess Friday night. I don't think I'm working.
No, you're not. I'm working.
You are. Okay, so I might have it up. So for Perth, it starts at 9 p.m. Sorry, on Friday. For Adelaide and Darwin time, it starts at 10:30, which is actually a bit late. So even if I was working, it might not matter. Mm-hmm. For Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, Hobart, Canberra, it is at 11 p.m. October on Friday. And Wellington, New Zealand, it's at 2 a.m. So you're going to have to get up very early to start watching nothing, probably.
For the first, 7 hours.
Yeah. So I'm going to bring up a question Metadox asked us on Twitter. So he asked, another Pokemon-related question. What are your thoughts on the 24-hour live stream that they're putting up? Do you think they're going to announce much new stuff, or will they go into detail about already announced Pokemon with a few new things sprinkled in? So thanks for your question, Meta. Greatly appreciated. I don't think they're going to go into detail about stuff already announced. I think there's going to be Pokemon moving around this screen that we've heard about before. There might be like a Wooloo run past or something. So, there's a Wooloo and there's a Mankey or stuff we already know about. But then there will be that, yeah.
Odd occasional, what the fuck's that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly that in a nutshell, yeah.
Mm. And I don't think it's going to be like, there's something new, then all of a sudden, there's this splash screen, new Pokemon, here's a trailer, what it does. I think that's going to be announced afterwards. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this is all to garner hype.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. There's no question and or doubt about it. It's the same thing as the Pokemon website. The website is like, there's a glitched figure on there, and there's a weird noise. Spooky.
It's like, guess what it is? It's a duck.
Exactly, down to a T.
It's a duck with a sword.
Oh, yes. I love ducks with swords.
Do you?
Yes.
Just checking Twitter. No, we got no other questions, Bryce.
Cool.
We're not cool enough for any more questions.
All right.
But we are cool enough for Metadocs to send in the questions, so that's all good.
Yeah. Thanks, Meta.
All right, Bryce. I think that brings us to the end of the show.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, unless you got something else you want to talk about. What about that? What about that time you went for a ride on a horse, but it turned out to be a Yoshi, and you're like, "Oh my god, I'm riding a Yoshi!" But then it licked your kids and it turned them to eggs. Do you want to talk about that, or leave it for another day?
No, it's a bit traumatizing.
Yeah, well, fair enough. Fair enough.
You ever seen your kids get turned into eggs before? It's a little harsh.
Yeah. No. Well, it'll be fine if you just let them. You just wait a bit and they hatch again.
Yeah. All right. I guess
It's
so.
only because you went and boiled them and ate their yolk.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Anyway,
I'm
sorry
not
for
into
another day.
dinosaurs. Sorry.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for listening to the House of Mario, episode 117. If you enjoyed the show, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, any of that rubbish. Just whatever. Thank you very much. If you want to support us a bit more,
Patreon.
Patreon.com/iDruby. And get access to the House of Mario Encore, which will be happening twice a month over there. And Bryce, where can we find you on the flapping icon that is blue?
At IV11.
And you can find me at iDruby. And you can find the show at the House of Mario. And actually, just before we leave, I want to give a shout out to Eric Zutch. He's just recently hit 2,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel.
Boy.
So that is absolutely phenomenal. Well done, Eric.
Keep going, dude.
And I guess on a more somber note, as far as Eric goes, I didn't word that very well, but on his Patreon, he put up a vlog. So if you support him at $1, he puts up like behind the scenes vlogs and that. And he put up a vlog basically saying like he's worried that he won't be able to keep doing it that long, because he said he's 9 months in, and he's a bit worried that once he gave himself 12 months basically, and he's worried that he won't be able to keep doing it. And what upsets him about that is that he's basically it's worse than being like, oh yeah, I'll do that one day, that seems cool, than actually taking the initiative to do it and I guess failing. And wholeheartedly, I don't think he'll fail.
No.
He's like, if to people that has watched his videos from when he started this year to now, they are absolutely fantastic.
They are, yeah.
And every time like a little edit comes out, which is just really well done. It's like such a small thing, but he puts like so much care into each video.
He does, absolutely.
Yeah. And I just want to say, if you haven't checked out Eric Zutch's videos, go to YouTube, Nintendo by Numbers, subscribe, play his videos. If you want to support him more, go to Patreon. I just want to give him a shout out because,
he's working his ass off.
He's working his ass off.
Yeah.
And I've got a lot of respect for him. And yeah, congratulations on your 2,000. I really wish the world for you, man.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Yeah.
My boy.
Fellow South Australian. One of the best blokes I know on the interwebs.
Yep.
In real life. We met him at PAX in person.
We did, finally.
Yeah.
Even though we live that fucking close to him,
Not close enough.
Apparently.
We had a water with him at the bar. Yes, and let's end the show, Bryce. Nintendo Jukebox. It's by Meme Rawsome. Fucking hell.
What?
It's by Meme Rawsome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Meme are awesome.
No, it's just Meme Rawsome.
Okay.
It's The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker Battle Remix. And it sounds good. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next week for another episode of The House of Mario.